Shalom, welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Jewish Philosophy number 8, Rav Saadya Gaon, Treatise 2 on God. Saadya talks about that, of course, in the first chapter before this is a creation, and that obviously means there's a creator, God. And one of the important points of the chapter he mentions is Dibra Torah b'lashon b'nei Adam. That it's very important to know that any anthropomorphic implications in the Torah, Yad Hashem, God has a hand, Yichaf Hashem, God is angry, whether it's physical characteristics that are projected onto God, or emotional characteristics, God is happy, He is sad. Any of those points in the Torah and Tanakh are not to be taken literally, and we always have to apply the phrase, Dibra Torah b'lashon b'nei Adam. The Torah is written in a way that we could relate to, that we could get impressions from. So Hashem Ish Milchama, Hashem, so to speak, is fighting for the Jewish people at Yom Suf. And whether it's from the Torah Shebachtav, Torah Shebal Peh, talking about God wearing tefillin, which seems to say He has a head and arms, is Dibra Torah b'lashon b'nei Adam. And even Chazal, we apply the same idea. It's written in a way that people could relate to. And there's always a concept behind it, but not to get fixed on the literal shot. Saadya stresses, one of the ideas he stresses in his chapter dealing with God, which brings us to a very important question. What happens if, unfortunately, a person doesn't understand this? And he takes the psukim literally. He believes God's physical. So the Rambam in Hilchot Tshuva, in the third parak, deals with this very topic. And he writes that there's three categories of people who lose Olam Haba. You have Min, Kofar, Apikoros. And Kofar, Apikoros refers to how one relates to Torah, and Nevuah, and prophecy, rejects any of these things. And Min is one has a distorted idea about God. The Rambam writes, he thinks that there's many gods, he thinks there's no God, and he thinks that God is physical, so then he's an Min. And once he's a Min, it's very sad, but he loses Olam Haba. The Ravid argues and says that there's so many people that believe that God's physical because they take the Psukim and the Gemaras and Midrashim literally, and they think that God is literal. So how do we understand such a thing? And he says it cannot be that these people are considered Min. And therefore Rambam is wrong for calling them Min and for saying they have no Olam Haba. Yetz Hashem in Shir number 9 will analyze the Machlokes Rambam and the Ravid. Shalom.